Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that the thieves have been breaking into these old, empty warehouses, and now they have demolished another one. That's right, we've been having problem with copper thieves, and I just wonder how many thieves have gone through this old glass plant. Well, I've done plenty of videos on this glass plant, but that's not what we're looking at today. Today, right across the street from the glass plant, the copper thieves broke into an empty building and set it on fire. Now, I don't know if they set this building on fire on purpose or if it's an accident by stealing copper, live copper. So we've had people die before because they kind of tried to cut into live copper, but there is this casualty. Someone owned this building at one time, and this was a thriving business in Oakland. But today, that beautiful building on this beautiful spot of land is completely demolished. Look at this. This is copper thieves at its worst. Usually they go inside and steal the copper and break open the walls and do their damage. But on this building today, you can see that it is gone. So you do feel for a building owner that left this part of town for crime and other reasons, but today it is a complete loss. So the demolition crew's right across the street. I wonder if they'll just move a piece of equipment right over here and tear this building down, because it will not be rebuilt. That's right. You are looking at the end of this business. Now, if there is any good to come out of this bad, is that he won't have to worry, or she will not have to worry about renting this business. And the insurance, well, maybe they'll pay, maybe they won't. In today's world, even though you have insurance and you pay insurance, sometimes the insurance does not pay you. So there's a close-up of what got burnt. I got the old zoom lens in, and you can see that all the ductwork on the top of that roof has collapsed down into the building itself. So whatever copper was in there, well, it's gone now. And it's probably easy to find now. But you can see almost every nail and bent roof shingle. That roof has seen better days. I would say that building was probably built in the 60s. So do the math. That building's probably 60 years old, I would imagine. Maybe more. So there you go. That little piece of property that used to be surrounded by homeless people and still does have a few homeless people surrounding it. Well, they gotten rid of most of them, but as you can see here, they still come out at night. So if you have an empty building around the Bay Area, you always have to worry about who is breaking in at night and trying to steal your copper. And security services, well, they cost a lot of money, so a lot of these businesses don't have security services. But look at how beautiful that spot is, and look where it's at. You couldn't get a more prime location for a building. And I wonder if they planted those palm trees. I don't know. So anyway, I'd like to see this property built back up. So what was the name of this property? Well, there you go. It was called capture. And I'm not sure what they did. It says capture technologies. So if you were an old employer at Capture Technologies, well, your building is up in smoke. I just wish they would get more strict on the metal thieves that are stealing from the cars and businesses around here. These people that steal this copper from these businesses should have to sign a waiver of where they got that copper and brass. A lot of times they're just stealing the backflow preventers right out of the street and leaving the water running like a geyser into the air. So if it's made of copper or made of brass or made of any kind of metal that's worth anything, well, it is going to be cut out and sent to the scrapyard. Believe it or not, even the iron gates that they put up underneath the freeways to keep the homeless encampments out are being cut up and turned in for scrap metal. So if you have no money and you're surrounded by something that's valuable, well, guess what you're going to do? You are going to do what any drug addict would do to get your drugs. Now, I'm not saying all copper thieves are drug addicts, but I would say a high percentage of copper thieves are drug addicts trying to get their fix. I'm sure any copper thief is not stealing the copper and putting it into a savings account to try to do it better in their life. I think it goes to another criminal. So criminals sell their scrap metal and get the money to give their money to other criminals. I guess that's just the way of the world, is we destroy something and then we destroy ourselves with the drugs and alcohol we buy by destroying a beautiful business like this, Capture Technologies. Well, if I see anybody roaming around at Capture Technologies, or if I see a bulldozer, I'll try to get the drone over here because that would be interesting. But I'm telling you what, it's not going to take a lot to bring this building down. And if I'm a fire investigator, I would say that fire started right in the back corner of that building. Well, there you go. The old Capture Technologies. Let's see how fast this drone will come down to end this video. But like I said, I do believe that fire started in the back right-hand corner of that building, if I'm a fire investigator. And I bet you that's probably right where the mechanical room is, where all the copper is. I'm just guessing. Well, there's that shadow of that Air 3, and what a beautiful drone she's been. When you have a drone like this DJI, you really have a lot of confidence. So you got to be careful. Even though you got confidence, you could still crash it right into one of those trees. But today, we're going to get out of here safe. So there you go. Capture Technologies burned up by copper thieves. When all the copper, well, I'm sure they pulled every bit of copper out of this building long time ago. Whether it be thieves or the demolition crew itself. That's high valuable money on a job like this. Well, this is what this job looks like today, and I have been doing a series on this, so if you're interested in a glass plant coming down, well, you got plenty to look at on this channel. But today we're not looking at that. Today we are looking at you. Bye-bye, everybody.